can try and win championships, and that's what it's all about. When you look from the outside and you watch this team, I know we're going to have a real good, solid hockey team this year.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Anthony Rivardo, and today we're going to be discussing Tyler Motte, the last of the New York Rangers unrestricted free agents that has not signed anywhere. He's the only one that has not been signed just yet, and there is speculation that maybe it could be because the Rangers are talking to him, trying to sign him, but there's also a lot of doubt in terms of the possibility of the Rangers re-signing Motte due to the fact that we are very tight on salary cap space after some major signings, Vincent Trocheck, Halak, and the others. There is not a lot of cap room left for the Rangers to make many moves, and of course they still have to re-sign Kaapo Kakko. They are negotiating with him currently, and he's expected to sign a deal worth between $2 to $2.5 million on average annual value, which really doesn't leave the Rangers with much room for Tyler Motte. So who will be the fourth line center? That is a big question that's going to need to be answered entering the 2022 season. But of course, let's talk about Tyler Motte, whether or not the Rangers should re-sign him and whether or not they have the cap space to re-sign Tyler Motte. So, of course, Tyler Motte's coming off of a 3-year deal worth $925,000 average annual value. He played in 49 games with Vancouver this past season. He scored 7 goals and 8 assists, 15 total points with Vancouver, and then he played in 9 games with the Rangers and didn't put up any points until the playoffs. Now, he did play pretty decently in the playoffs for a fourth-line center, played in 15 games, 2 goals, and did show a little bit of promise there. He's 27 years old, so 15 total points in 58 total games amongst those two teams, and of course the 2 playoff games. And he played a strong checking role for the Rangers this past season. Again, he is the last of their key unrestricted free agents that is yet to sign elsewhere. And Chris Drury recently did the general manager of the Rangers, Chris Drury, recently did a press conference talking about the team's moves and some of the signings that they made in free agency and some of the decisions that they made to let go of certain players in free agency. And when he was asked about Tyler Motte, he said that it's going to be tight. That was the quote. Quote, "It might be too tight." So when he said that it was too tight, he did, kind of imply that the Rangers don't really have the ability to sign Tyler Motte, but they're not completely shutting the door on Tyler Motte. I didn't get the sense that Chris Drury was saying, no way, not signing Tyler Motte. I got the sense that he was saying, we'd like to, but I don't know if we can afford to. So that's where things are going to get interesting. That's what we're going to talk about in this episode, of course. So, of course, again, like I said, Tyler Motte hasn't signed anywhere and could potentially be negotiating with the Rangers. There is a possibility that they've had some discussions, but right now the top priority is to get Kaapo Kakko signed to his next contract. Again, $2 million to $2.5 million. And if you project that the Rangers sign Kaapo Kakko, let's say it's $2.25 million, right in between those two numbers, average annual value. Well, when you take a look at, all the bonuses that the Rangers have to pay this year, which could potentially go up to $3.7 million, leaves them with just under $800,000 in salary cap space, which of course would not be enough to sign Tyler Motte. $800,000 in salary cap space is not enough. Right now, the Rangers are sitting with $4.83 million in salary cap space. But again, as I mentioned, you have to take away $2.5 million of that for Kaapo Kakko, leaves them with just over $2 million. And then the bonuses, of course. So you're talking about the Rangers really not having a whole lot of money left to spend. And they're going to have to make some moves if they want to bring back Tyler Motte. So if the Rangers want to bring back Tyler Motte, they're going to have to also leave a little bit of cap space in terms of, just in case of any emergencies during the regular season. But they need to leave themselves with between $1.5 to $2 million in salary to make it work. And in order for that to happen, they would have to make a trade. And 2 players that they could trade are Sammy Blais and Ryan Reeves. Ryan Reeves' cap hit is $1.75 million. Sammy's is $1.523 million. So moving on from either of those guys could theoretically give the Rangers enough cap space to re-sign Tyler Motte if he doesn't sign elsewhere in the meantime. But taking a look at some of the stats again, when you're talking about Kaapo Kakko, it is a priority for the Rangers to re-sign him. And we'll actually take a look at some of the quotes. Chris Drury said, "We think the world of him. He's a terrific young player. We want him here for a really long time. It's a player we want, and I'm not too worried about getting him into the fold soon." And then this was also echoed by his agent, Mike Liut, to the New York Post. Quote, "It isn't trying to play a cat and mouse game. It's just the rhythm of reacting to the schedule. You have to fit the pieces in, but you'll get to it. There's no serious urgency with Group 2, so they get pushed a little bit down the line when they don't have arbitration rights." Of course, talking about how, Kaapo Kakko didn't get any qualifying offers or anything major from any other teams. There was no huge interest. He was in the second wave of interest for free agents. Of course, the first wave, the Vincent Trocheks of the world and other guys, those were the big priority signings that happened last week. But here we are, over a week since free agency has began, and Kaapo Kakko still just negotiating with the New York Rangers, likely to sign that 2-year bridge deal worth $2 to $2.5 million on average annual value. And of course, that's what we're all hoping for. Eric and I, hosts of Fireside Rangers, we have been pretty firm on our belief that Kaapo Kakko should be re-signed by the New York Rangers. We did a few videos talking about, should the New York Rangers sign Kaapo Kakko? Maybe they should trade him. What should they do with him? And we have always had the belief that they should sign him, re-sign him. He's a young player. I understand he was a healthy scratch in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and he didn't necessarily play the best in the playoffs, but he has a lot of potential. He is a young player, and he is somebody that the Rangers should make it a priority to re-sign. And of course, it seems like they are. So maybe the Rangers, Chris Drury, maybe he's tuning into Fireside Rangers. We'll see one day, hopefully. But again, Kakko, 21 years old, super young, posted 18 points in 43 games. He was injured quite a bit. In 19 postseason games, he picked up 2 goals, 5 total points, and he has a lot of strength on the puck. But of course, the healthy scratch made things a little bit questionable, but he did say after that healthy scratch, quote, "I like to play here. I think the scratch gives me more motivation. I want to show I'm better than that. You should put me in the lineup because I'm a good player," end quote. And I really like that quote. You know, he's kind of using it as fuel to the fire, motivation to be better in 2022 to 23. And that's what I hope to see. I hope to see Kaapo Kakko really elevate his game to the next level, stay healthy this year, and really elevate his game to become that very good player that we expect him to be one day. I think that's going to be super exciting to see Kaapo Kakko really just kind of evolve his game and get better. But with Tyler Motte, again, you're talking about your fourth line center here. This is a position that the Rangers do need to address, and Tyler Motte would make a lot of sense, but does he make sense considering the cap space that the Rangers have? Personally, I don't think it makes sense to re-sign Tyler Motte. I don't think it's possible. You know, maybe if it was possible, it would make sense, but with the Rangers sitting where they are in the salary cap position with just under $5 million left, still need to re-sign Kaapo Kakko. So you're really talking about $3.7 million left to spend. And then you're talking about the bonuses that you have to play to certain players. And then you're talking about leaving a little bit of space in terms of emergencies. There really just isn't space to re-sign Tyler Motte. Of course, you're probably talking about a contract worth around $1 million. And that $1 million is kind of significant for the Rangers right now. They're going to need to keep that. And of course, like I said, you're going to have to trade somebody in order to acquire Tyler Motte. So are you willing to sacrifice 1 to 2 players just to bring back Tyler Motte? Me personally, I don't think that I am. I think that the Rangers should honestly just save their money, spend it elsewhere, and move on. Tyler Motte, good player, good potential there, 27 years old. I like what he brings to the table, but just in terms of what the Rangers have with their salary cap space, I don't think that this move would make sense. So no, the answer to today's question, do the New York Rangers have space to sign Tyler Motte? In my opinion, no. Could they create space? Yes, absolutely. Should they? In my opinion, no. But let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Should the Rangers create the space to re-sign Tyler Motte? Are you excited by the news of the Rangers negotiating this 2-year bridge deal with Kaapo Kakko? That's the priority for them. Is that exciting to you, or would you rather see them let Kaapo Kakko walk or re-sign Tyler Motte, make another move? I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Ring the bell so you don't miss a video. And we'll catch you all in the next one. Have a good one. And let's go Rangers.
He shoots. He's